Willie Gay says nothing impresses him about that Bengals offense. I think it's going to be that Chiefs pass rush. I know that's an odd way to take it when we've got all this week of Mahomes versus Burrow.
Tell us why.
Who's better, Mahomes, Burrow? Who's the king? They haven't been able to get to this guy, Burrow. And I'll tell you what, last week, I thought everyone coming in thought this offensive line situation was going to be the storyline with Cincinnati. And they're without Williams, and they're without Lyle Collins, and they held up just fine. And that Buffalo pass rush had no answer for what Cincinnati's offensive line brought. If Kansas City can get to Joe Burrow and rattle Joe Burrow and can do this, they will win this game, Mahomes' ankle or not. If they can stop, because I'll tell you what, if they don't, this could be Jamar Chase dancing all over Arrowhead, and this can be T. Higgins going over those rookie defenders, Jalen Watson. This could be L'Jarius Sneed in a battle versus Hayden Hurst, and Hayden Hurst grabbing it. To me, this is all about getting to Burrow. So this is a call to action. Use this 7 a.m. opening of the show. Chris Jones, you're a Defensive Player of the Year finalist. This is the game we need you. Willie Gay, you've been awesome all year long when you're on the field. You had the quote of the day yesterday. Get to Joe Burrow. And last but not least, I look at that rookie, George Karlaftis, the Greek freak. They drafted you in the first round. You've been solid all season. Make yourself an international name and go get yourself some sacks. If the Chiefs' defense can uphold their end of the bargain, I have no doubt that Mahomes on 2 ankles, on 1 ankle, or no ankle is going to be coming ready to play. The Chiefs are going to need a stop. And if that pass rush can stop Burrow, finally, Kansas City can get past Cincinnati, and they will be the ones.
Pity, you've never been so fired up about pass rush in years.
Let's go.
You're feeling it. I can tell. I have a call to action as well. My call to action is to every single fan in that stadium wearing red and welcoming the Bengals into your house. This is a big day. You got to show up. And each and every year, I give Chiefs fans a love letter in the form of a video presentation, which I'm going to do again now. December 9th, 1990. That is the day that Arrowhead Stadium just became Arrowhead. And I will present it to you now because this is the kind of action we're going to need from you, the kind of energy we're going to need from you. December 9th, 1990, John Elway is in town representing the Denver Broncos. He is backed up all the way into his own end zone, and he couldn't run the offense because it was too loud. So he turned to head referee Gordon McCarter, and here is the disarray we're going to need this weekend. Let's go back to 1990.
Second down, 10.5. Elway cannot hear. He steps away.
When you get down in that corner, Charlie, you're getting the noise from 3 sides.
The Kansas City Chiefs have been in this stadium now for 17 years here at Arrowhead. This is only the second time, this moment is only the second time in the history of this stadium that the official has had to stop a game because of the crowd.
I have asked the defensive team to help lower the level of crowd noise. Thank you for cooperating.
And of course, there also has never been a playoff game here. So you have a crowd here of almost 78,000, and they are anticipating this whole holiday season.
I have asked the defensive team to help lower the crowd noise. That was a real announcement that they made. And guys, if you think that's crazy, it goes even further. When he made that announcement, the Arrowhead crowd got louder. There was a rule back then that if the crowd noise was too loud, the referee would warn the audience, and if the audience wouldn't listen, the home team would be penalized. Dan Reeves, the head coach of the Broncos, was aware of this rule at the time, told the officiating guys, be ready, this crowd is loud tonight. So then after he asked the defensive team to quiet down the crowd, Elway gets under center again and says, I can't run the offense, quiet them down, roll it!
Elway steps away again. As a matter of fact, when this happened before in the Cleveland game, the next week after the game, I saw Norma Hunt, Lamar's wife, and she said, it was so exciting that I wanted Lamar to take out a full-page ad in the Kansas City Star and thank everybody for cheering for the Chiefs. And I said, did he do it? He said, well, no, he said he took out a half-page ad.
To help lower the crowd noise. Any further crowd noise problem will result in a charged timeout against Kansas City. Thank you for your cooperation.
Any further crowd noise problems will result in a charged timeout against Kansas City. That rule was put in 1989 because of the rise of dome stadiums, and they're too loud. It's an outdoor stadium. They were going to take a timeout away from the Chiefs. That was the rule. That's when Arrowhead Stadium became Arrowhead. This weekend, do not let Arrowhead Stadium become Burrowhead. This is on your watch. This is your responsibility. You be as loud as you bleeping want to. You go get that dub, because if you don't, Joe Burrow's planting that flag like John Elway could not. Big day for you people this weekend. Go get it.
My goodness, how in the world do I follow up that call to action to the fans at Arrowhead Stadium? Absolutely love it. And one way they can get fired up is if Chris Jones and the defensive line are getting sacks and are getting after him. But in order to rush the passer, that's like dessert at dinner time. But you got to eat all your vegetables first to be able to get to dessert. So before they can rush the passer, got to be able to stop the run. And that's Joe Mixon, that's Samaje Perine. Those guys, they have to tackle them and not let them go off. Because Joe Mixon last week, he had a game himself, over 100 yards on the ground, and really controlled it. We saw at the end of the game, him and Perine smashing forward and kind of ending Buffalo Bills' season. So those are the two guys to me. Kansas City, you go out there and stop them on the ground. That allows you to do all of those fun things. That allows Burrow in the shotgun, seeing these guys come after him and have to figure out a way to stop and get some yards against this defense. And that'll get the crowd fired up. So if I'm the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm coming in here and I'm saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to hand the ball off. I'm going to see what my two running backs can do and how they can get yards, because Perine in this Week 13 matchup, over 100 yards on the ground as well, and did damage receiving the ball. Travis Etienne last week, over 6 yards a carry against this Kansas City Chiefs defense. So, hey, they want to get after the passer. They want to get after Burrow. Go out there and stop the run and see where that lets you go.
I was going to go run game too. I know, real sexy option to leave at the 7 o'clock to have two people talk about the run game. So instead, I circled back to the quarterbacks. Okay. And I kind of envision these two guys like in a tailgate parking lot. They're like got their hands over the trash can and they're like trying to keep warm. And you know, I think we've all done a lot to really fuel the fire of like the Bengals and Burrow and the Cincinnati fans, and like they're good. They're all huddled around their trash can. I feel like we're about to open the door. Like, what fuels fire? Oxygen.
Sure.
Like, put it on there. We're about to open the window on the Patrick Mahomes fire. I mean, I think we don't even know, but we've been throwing kindling on this thing all week long. His ankle's not good enough. Burrow head. Let's show this overtime interception that he threw last year in the AFC Championship. I don't think we want to see the anger, the fury, and the competitive nature of this quarterback that's about to come out for the second time in 2 years against the team that beat him, that came back and beat him in overtime last year, to the point where after the game he had to admit, we were executing better in the first half than we ever did in the second half. They had a spy on me the entire time in the second half, and that's how he threw the ball away. That's why he threw the ball. Twice in that game, impactfully so, in overtime. But I'm telling you, we've been seeing the hands over the fireplace. I think that fire is about to be lit up on Sunday with Patrick Mahomes.
Jamie, you got to be ready to run through a wall. We all do. We're excited. The game was on last night, last year's AFC Championship game. NFL Network ran it. I watched it.
Yeah.
You forget. The Chiefs were rolling. It was 21-3.
21-3.
And there was a graphic, and Tony Romo's talking about it, and it calls the perfect half.
Oh, God.
And it was Mahomes. He had like one incomplete. Yeah. There was 4 for 4 touchdowns every drive. They were just rolling. And then with 5 seconds left, they decide to go for it. Tyreek on a screen pass, time runs out, and then the momentum shifted so much. We forget how much Kansas City was leading that game, and maybe Chiefs fans don't. But gosh, I have to think they've been sleeping with that for over 365 days, just waiting for a chance to get redemption.
Peter, like, don't you think he's watching? And like, for the fact that there's this quote of him saying after the game, they had a spy on me. Like, he has been grinding all year long to identify, to make sure it doesn't happen again, to make sure his guys help him know where that is, because he's just that guy that I think you will not best me twice. You can't.
We'll find out. Someone's going to be king of the AFC.